pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great.
Only got in today.
This morning, 8 o'clock.
Feeling a little bit jet lagged, are we?
Really not too bad. He'll probably catch me tomorrow, but...
That's good. Now, that's good. Yeah, it's good that it'll hit you tomorrow. Now, you've been in the industry for a long time. You're in your 30 years. And even now, you still don the tights at 50-something years of age.
54.
54 years of age.
Don't be afraid.
You're not afraid?
No, I said, don't you be afraid. You can say it, everybody else does. Yeah.
I'm just afraid of divulging a wrestler's name on the air and having hit you with a chair.
No, I'm fine. 54.
Can you still go in the ring? Can you still go hard?
Yeah, I can, and actually I now have a new, I'm driven a little bit more right now than I probably was when I first came back, because I didn't come back under the pretense of wrestling at all. I just came back in an ownership role with Vince, and then from there it just progressed, and you know, it's very difficult to wrestle just part-time. You either got to be totally committed. It's anybody's successful in their line of work, or you find something else to do. So now that I see that there is a role for me to wrestle, I'm really committed again to getting back in the shape. I don't know that I can be like I was when I was 25, but I can be like I was when I was 30.
Well, speaking of you at 25, we've actually got a photo of you. Have a look at this. From your very early days. Nice. Look at the guns. Look at the chest. That's sensational.
I weighed about 285 pounds there.
Unbelievable.
When I first started, yeah.
And so how has the industry changed for you in the amount of time that you've been in the wrestling ring?
Well, the industry has changed in the fact that, number one, it's obviously a lot more select in terms of the people that are involved in it. The marketing, of course, is huge. The fact that we're able to travel around the world, be on shows like this tonight as individuals and as a company representing the WWE, it just, you know, it's a whole new world. When I first started, there were probably 20 or 30 markets in the United States and Europe, you know, throughout the world to wrestling. Now there's I think we're on television in 134 markets. Not that we go to all 134, but we have the capability of going. And the marketing concepts have gotten bigger. The guys, I think we hold ourselves, I've always thought of myself, and I look at The Rock and Steve Austin and Hunter and Jericho and The Undertaker. These guys are mainline, you know, premium stars. They're as big as anybody in any sport or any field of entertainment. And it's just wonderful to see that is all as a result of, you know, Vince McMahon, the WWE, and the professional wrestling.
So do these young guys have it too easy today, Rick? You worked hard back in your day. They get it too easy with all their TV shows and their movie deals.
I don't think they have it too easy, but I think that certainly the fact that we have contracts that are guaranteed and insurance and stuff like that, which was non-existent when I started, it's a given now. But I've accepted all that, and I think it's great. And I think the young guys now that, you know, they put a lot more on the line every night when they go out there because of all the high flying
Now, with
stuff.
you, being in the industry for that long, one of the other things I would have thought that's changed is that nowadays wrestling is a lot more open in the fact that people play characters, it's all predetermined, there's no closed doors.
Where'd you get that from?
Oh, I don't know. But when you first started out, it would have been the good guys are good guys, bad guys are bad guys, and you weren't even allowed to be seen traveling together. If you were friends behind the scenes...
You'll get fired if you travel with somebody you're wrestling with. And, yeah, that's changed a lot. That was probably the hardest part for me to accept in the last, 20 years. But that was due to the fact that the athletic commissions were cashing in on things that they weren't, actually doing. And it was a smart move. It became sports entertainment. And once again, it's probably the only time I really thought Vince did something that wasn't right. And ultimately, it worked out to be great. But yeah, you're right. When I first started, it was a very secret, select society, and nobody could say anything about it. If there did, it was a fight, and we were on.
Just as well that's not the case now. You would have hit me.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about injuries. Now, you yourself have had some pretty bad injuries. You were in a plane crash many years ago.
1975.
Where you broke your neck.
I broke my back in 3 places, actually.
And you still, 6 months later, you were wrestling again.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, take us through the actual plane crash itself and then how you actually managed to get back in the ring.
Well, there were 6 of us on the plane, and we were flying from Charlotte, North Carolina, to the coast, Wilmington. And as it turned out, we weren't aware at the time, but the plane was way over gross in terms of there were 6 wrestlers. I think we were 1,400 pounds over gross. which came out later in a court case. But the pilot had compensated for the weight by carrying less fuel, and we hit a headwind. And I guess he got to a point of what they call no return. Could have landed at a couple different places, but decided to try and make it in. And all of a sudden we were flying along at about 5,000 feet, starting to make our approach into Wilmington. The right engine just pinned. It didn't go boop, boop, boop. We just put toosh, just stopped. And after that, I guess he went down to pull the reserve tanks, and there was no reserve. So we hit the ground, you know, after flying through trees, which normally will cartwheel a small aircraft. We went through all the trees and landed in a railroad embankment, and the speedometer was stuck at 220 miles an hour. So,
Wow.
yeah.
But you 6 months later, you were back in the ring.
Yeah, I was very lucky. They didn't know back then because they didn't have the technology they do now, you know, to predict whether or not I would heal. But I was very determined, number one, and I was probably too young, you know, and to think negatively at that point. You know, when you're young, you just charge straight ahead and don't think things out. So I'm actually glad I had that attitude, but it worked out great, and I was very lucky to come back.
Now tell everybody about why you're here and what you have to tell the wrestling fans.
Well, I'm here because the WWE is coming back to Australia. We love Australia. This is a phenomenal country, phenomenal place to work. We have a great time here. We're coming back July 31st, Thursday, performing here in Melbourne, and August 2nd in Sydney. WWE
So
Raw.
the Thursday in Melbourne and the Saturday in Sydney.
Yeah, 31st of July and August 2nd in Sydney.
Very exciting, and that's
Raw.
the Raw group.
Raw group.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, look, before we go, could you just let me live a little bit of a dream and slap your finishing move, the figure 4 leg lock, on me?
Yes.
Excellent.
You want to put it on me?
Oh, I'll put it on you.
You put it on me?
Oh, woo! Yeah. We'll turn the table. I'll take my microphone on. You got the boom on? Because I don't want to hurt you, Nate. You know. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, you ready? Here you lie down. Leg up. Can I do a little bit of your...
Yeah, please do it. That's it.